just being straight up. Some of us don't want to be healed. We just want to feel better.
Amen.
And you know, it's like you have a sinus, you have an allergy, right? And they tell you, oh, you're allergic to peanuts, so don't eat peanuts, right? Yeah. And then you be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna eat these peanuts.
She allergic.
I'm gonna eat these peanuts. Yeah.
I'll deal with the consequences.
And I'll just take
later.
some Benadryl later, right? Like, let's just be real, bro. I don't know no other way to put it. Healing is ugly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's a bunch of crying. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of anger. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of confusion at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, healing is such an ugly process. And so to really want to be healed is to want to go through the ugly phase. Like, I'm kid you not.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like...
Go ahead.
No, let me say. It's kind of like when you grow dreads, right? Like, they tell you at the first beginning, they're going to stand up all over the place. They're going to look like little cockroaches. And you think you're going to be looking like them people on the TV. It don't start off like that. You got to go through the process. It's going to be ugly for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because that's what healing is. Yeah. Healing is ugly for a little while.
It is.
And the process, I'm sorry, Len.
No, you go ahead.
The process is not by yourself.
Everybody.
The process is with a community. The process is God has never left you nor forsake you.
Come on, talk
because we are so hurt, we are pushing people away that God has given us in a season of healing.
Part. Yeah.
People have hurt you in the season, and God has heard your cries, and He have brought people to heal you in a certain season.
Yes.
But if we keep looking at everybody as Pharaoh and the Egyptians, we will not make our way into the promised land. And what I mean by this, man, my brother Jay that's on here, man, that supports us, man, I'm talking about this is a conversation weekly to make it his business. He is older than me, but he humbles himself and makes it his duty to check on me weekly, send me scriptures weekly, encourage me weekly. I got on the phone today, Yoke family, and Brian and his beautiful wife Vanessa called me, and we joke all the time. But today I was so hurt because I allowed myself to think about where I want to be instead of just thinking about today. Yeah. And when you allow yourself to worry about yesterday and the days before, it could put you in a shell to where you can't even receive anything today. Yeah. And man, when I talked to both y'all on the phone, y'all was like, all right. And then she was like, oh. And I was like, oh, she know I'm hurt. Without you calling me back. Because she said, oh, for no reason. I was like, dang, she read me. Yeah. But I hung up the phone, click. Yeah. And then you called me back and you said, hey, man, what's going on? I'm like, nothing much. But I couldn't shake it. Yeah. But and then you said, nah, my wife say something wrong with you. You ain't feeling good. I said, hey, man, leave me alone. You sound messy. And I wanted you just to leave me alone. But when you hung up the phone and I told you I was okay, I became okay because I understood the circle that God has given me. Yeah. And when you begin to understand when God has given you a circle in your season of hurt, that's your opportunity to grow. Yeah.
And be healed.
Yeah.
And be healed.
And be healed.
Yeah. Because you gotta take your season. Brian said something earlier about seasons. So the word of God says that He watches over His word to perform it. Yeah. So it's not that you will miss a season. You will just go back and you have to learn. And that the word of God tells you that He will restore the years that the locusts have eaten up. Yep. So it's not that you missed your season. You're just not prepared in the timing that God had established you to be at that point at that time. Yes. It was a movie that I watched, and it was called A Person of Interest. And these people had a computer that calculated the time of when I needed to be there in that moment to save an individual. Yeah. So I asked God, I said, okay, God, break this down to me spiritually. Spiritually, we are supposed to be at a place in a certain time to bring somebody else deliverance, but we're so stuck thinking that it's about us, but not even understanding that it is about the person that I need to meet at that time. Yeah. And I need to be there in that time to save them for something that they may have something happen in their life. So I'm saying that to say God will catapult you into a season once you get to the steps. But I'm going to make you make your steps so easy if you just surrender and allow God to allow yourself to be naked and unashamed in front of God. because I'm not perfect, nor do I desire to be. But God has perfected those things which concerneth me, to where I can give you my testimony and I'm not ashamed, to where I can tell you what I've been and I'm not ashamed. I can tell you where I'm at right now and I'm not ashamed,
what I was about
because
to say.
I'm not in the place where I feel like I should be. But grace be to God, because he has called me to this place for such a time as this, so I can help somebody else. That is the main goal. So the enemy can keep bringing you into this cycle where you always think, oh, it's about me. I need to be healed. I need to be helped. Do not pity yourself. God has built you for tough. The body is meant to regenerate itself. So that means you won't die before your time in due season, but you got to get past this part to say that, hey, forgiveness has held me back too long. And once you accept that, hey, it held me back too long, once you're in that place where God is saying, hey, I'm bringing you to this position, God will catapult you into that place so swiftly if you just get this small thing. He said it's not the large things that spoil a batch, but it's the small things. The small things that hinder you from where God is taking you. The small things that have you sitting on a couch knowing that you're supposed to be somewhere else in a building speaking to 3,000, but because you have not accepted that this small thing is holding me back, you can't even see the vision of where God is trying to take you. So I'm saying that to say, and I don't like to say that, nor do my husband like me to use it.
You and Brian.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Take what we're saying, take it to heart. When we end this call, do not allow the seed that we are sowing today to fall on hollow ground. But I ask that you plant this seed in your heart so that you may receive this 3-week series that we are giving you, and really say, hey, God, search my heart. And if you find anything in there that is not of you, that I have buried, like sis say, that I have overlooked, that I have said that, oh, I'm really not worried about. But every time the situation comes, I get the same reaction. I get the same response. God, you have to let it go. So that God can take you to a place. God requires holiness. He cannot dwell in anything unholy. So that unforgiveness is unholy to God. He cannot dwell in any unclean place. He wants to fill you up to the brim so that you can overflow and have other people eat off your fruit. But they can't eat off your fruit if it ain't bearing nothing.
100%. I was going to speak to what you were saying, KT.
Yeah.
When we were on the call, when I said what I said, and immediately after y'all got off the phone, I went to pray. Because what God was showing me in that moment was when people are weak, it's not to diminish you. It's because not only does God step in, but he allows people to step in. So don't miss the person that God sends because you're waiting on God to show up. Because with the way that he showed it to me was when the man was asking to be saved, and he was like, oh, I sent this person, I sent this, but you were waiting on God. But it's us as we're joined. You are my brother, so I'm going to know when you're off. I'm going to know when something happened. You don't have to tell me. I'm going to hear it because I've heard your voice so many times as when I know it, we're good. So I know when you're not. And we're close enough, I can feel it. And I was like, okay, God, what do I do? Because as somebody that loves you and as somebody that's joined with you and we're doing life together, I'm not going to leave you hanging, regardless if you tell me or not. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to cover you. Yeah. And as me covering you, I'm going to go pray. Because we're going to fight this thing out together. And that's the importance of being a community with your people.
Yeah.
There's people waiting on you to pray for them. But they sometimes they can't say it. Sometimes they don't have the courage to just say, I'm hurting. I need prayer here. I'm struggling here. But you see it.
Yeah.
So it's wrong for me to see them struggling and not and not pray for them.
But that's why
sin.
you
It's a
gotta be.
sin,
But that's
man.
why you gotta be careful who you align yourself with, because it's people whose instinctive behavior is to pray, and it's some people you talk to whose instinctive behavior is to gossip. So you trying to figure out why your situation ain't got no better is because the person